Yo, what's up, guys? In today's video, I got a bunch of Chicago Bulls news and updates. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the huge win over the Denver Nuggets. Also giving a very sad injury update on Lonzo Ball. Also talking about the possibility of the Bulls trading DeMar in this upcoming summer. And Zach LaVine being upset with the Chicago Bulls, and especially about his name involved in some trade rumors at the trade deadline. But nonetheless, before I jump into today's video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, leave a quick like below today's video. Takes a second and helps me out a lot. And leave some comments and questions below today's video about the Bulls beating the Nuggets and all the injury updates and news I'm about to jump into. But nonetheless, let's just jump right into today's video. And let me just first off say, of course, why wouldn't this Bulls team, this bipolar Bulls team that has been all over the place and just been a complete mess all season, come out and beat, I'd say, the best team in the NBA, especially in Denver. The Denver Nuggets had a 30-4 home record, and the Bulls went in there and they blew them out. The Chicago Bulls are now one game within the Wizards for the final play-in spot. Huge shout out to Zach LaVine and Vooch. They completely balled out versus the Nuggets. Zach LaVine had another very efficient game from the field. I plan to talk about his stats and recent play later in today's video. He had 29 points and 5 rebounds. Vooch, of course, had a double-double. He had 25 points and 15 rebounds. DeMar also played solid. He had 17 and 8 assists, and Patrick Williams had 18 points off the bench. The Chicago Bulls had 66 points in the paint and 19 fast break points. This is kind of how the Bulls played last year and when they were so good. And let me just first off say, no, this one win does not change how I feel about this team and how this season has been. And if anything, I was just really mad after this win, which is crazy to say, but let me explain. This Bulls team has been so bipolar, so up and down. This season has been so frustrating, and it just bothers me that this Bulls team came out with so much energy and so much purpose tonight to beat the best team in the NBA, but other nights they lose and come out flat versus the Pistons or bad teams like that. It's just very frustrating because I think we know and have seen at multiple times this season, and especially to start last season, how good this team can be when they want to play basketball. And obviously it would be such a Bulls thing to do to come out this weekend and lose against the Houston Rockets, which wouldn't surprise me. Casey Johnson did report saying that a constant theme in the Bulls locker room after the win versus the Denver Nuggets was, yes, this was a good win, but we can't take a step back against Houston, so we're going to be very interested to see how the Bulls come out versus the Houston Rockets. But nonetheless, leave your thoughts and opinions below today's video about the Bulls beating the Nuggets the other day. And now on to the second topic in today's video. The Chicago Bulls couldn't even celebrate a huge victory for, I'd say, more than maybe 24 hours because some devastating Lonzo Ball injury updates and news did come out. And according to Adrian Wojnarowski, he did report just the other day that there is a growing possibility that Bulls guard Lonzo Ball will need a third surgery on his right knee that would likely require another 6 months of recovery and rehab. And this is just heartbreaking. This is awful, and I hate to be like this, but this doesn't surprise me. The updates weren't getting better. There was this video that Lonzo Ball put out of him running, and it just didn't look right. He looked funny. He looked like he was learning how to run again. And Woj did continue, and he said that the Bulls and Lonzo Ball's representatives with Clutch Sports are still working together. They're consulting with some specialists before a final decision on surgery is made, but a procedure sometime this month would further delay the possibility of Lonzo Ball ramping up for a return in the 2023-2024 season. And Lonzo Ball has now had 3 knee surgeries on one knee in about less than 2 years, and this is awful. I don't really know what to say. I feel bad for Lonzo Ball. Obviously, this also sucks for the Bulls, but he's watching the prime years of his career slip by. The Bulls team doctors need to be checked out this offseason and maybe fired. It's really crazy to think of how many knee injuries and lingering knee injuries have become so common for this Bulls team. I saw Javonte Green's also having some problems ramping up with his knee injury. And Casey Johnson did give a little update on this situation. He did say the surgery injury situation is not yet near that. Their goal is to try and fix Lonzo Ball. And Casey Johnson also did say that video that Lonzo Ball posted a few weeks back of him running on a treadmill, he just pretty much said that Lonzo looked goofy. And I know Casey Johnson did report or said on the Bulls Talk podcast that Lonzo has been like trying to relearn how to run due to the discomfort and pain in his knee. Either way, this is a very sad situation. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video about that recent injury update on Lonzo Ball. And the next topic in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of the Chicago Bulls trading DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine in this upcoming summer. I plan to make a future video of really talking about this and deep diving into this topic, so definitely keep your eye out for that video. But just the other day, huge shout out to Stacey King. He did have Shams on his recent podcast, and Shams was just talking about the current state of the Chicago Bulls, and he did report saying that this summer the Bulls have some decisions to make with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Vooch. And I think that's clear. Even if the Bulls do finish this season out strong, I truly do expect some massive roster changes to happen in this upcoming offseason. At least I hope so. Arturas did kind of hint about some big moves coming at the trade deadline if the Bulls don't play well to end this season in this upcoming summer. And in my eyes, if the Bulls do retool, because I don't expect them to blow it up and rebuild, I think it's easy. The Bulls either have to sign and trade Vooch, which would be hard, or they have to trade DeMar DeRozan, especially with how Zach LaVine has been playing as of late. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to hate on DeMar DeRozan. His past 2 years with the Chicago Bulls have been incredible, especially last year. But at the end of the day, he only has 1 year left on his contract. He's going to be wanting to get paid, especially after these 2 breakout years. He is getting up there in age. He will be 34 by the start of next NBA season. And especially with how Zach LaVine has played, I think it's obvious you have to build around Zach LaVine, put a lot of 3-and-D wings around him, and I'd say a better point guard, because I don't expect Lonzo Ball to play again, which is awful to say. I do hope I'm wrong about that situation. But leave some comments below today's video about the Bulls trading one of their big 3 or maybe all of their big 3 in this upcoming offseason. And speaking about Zach LaVine, this tweet did come out maybe a week or 2 ago from Daniel Greenberg, and I just wanted to give my opinion on that. And he did report saying, according to Bulls insider Joe Cowley on 670 The Score, Zach LaVine was really bothered about the trade rumors of the Chicago Bulls being in talks with teams about him during the NBA trade deadline. And let me just first off say, I do understand Zach LaVine's point of view, but at the end of the day, this Bulls season and team has been very disappointing this year. And when they play like that and you're a losing team, anyone should be on the trade market. I don't care if you just signed a max deal with the Chicago Bulls. I don't blame Zach LaVine for being upset and bothered by the rumors, but at the end of the day, like I just said in my last video, if the Bulls are going to retool, in my eyes, they have to either sign and trade Vooch or trade DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't make sense trading Zach LaVine, especially with how impressive and how efficient he has been in these past few games, especially since the All-Star break. And even before the All-Star break, Zach LaVine's last 15 games for the Chicago Bulls, he has been pretty much averaging 30 points per game, shooting a total 67% from the field, 41% from three-point range on about 7 attempts a game. Also 87% from the free throw line on about 8 attempts per game also. Zach LaVine has been saving this Bulls offense as of late. He's been very aggressive, very decisive. He's obviously an elite shot maker. He's been really aggressive and just attacking, especially downhill and in transition. He's also settling less and not taking as many, I'd say, contested fadeaway jumpers. It's just great to see Zach LaVine healthy. These past few games for the Bulls, Zach LaVine has been carrying the offense. I mean, just versus the Nuggets, he had 30, Pacers 42, Suns 27, Pistons 40. He did struggle versus the Raptors, but they're an elite defense. He then did have about 30 versus the Wizards and Brooklyn Nets. Zach LaVine is a walking bucket. I think we all know that. I think the Bulls would be silly to shop Zach LaVine and trade him in this upcoming offseason. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video, especially about Zach LaVine's recent play. He has been on fire since the All-Star break and even before, and the stats don't lie. The Bulls would be silly to trade him in my eyes. It doesn't make sense why the Bulls would even shop him. They just signed him to a max contract. He deserves to be in Chicago. He's gotten better every year. He deserved that max deal. I believe the Bulls just need to get him some help. Like, no offense to Vooch and DeMar, especially these past few games, but Zach LaVine just needs the correct players around him, which is sad to say given that the Bulls gave him a max contract. But most max contract players in the NBA are still not perfect players, and they still need to be put in the right situation situation with the right players around them to really take their game to the next level. I just hope the Bulls can do that in this upcoming offseason. I'm expecting a lot of changes, but I guess it truly does depend how the Bulls do end this season, and if Arturis is happy with the results. Say the Bulls make a late push into the play-in game and play-in tournament. I don't know how to feel about this season. It's been all over the place, but nonetheless, thank you guys for watching today's video and all the love on the channel in the past few videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.